Dude. Awesome. Awesome. Beautiful. I'll always take and over or. When you submit to or, then you limit yourself, right? I can be this or that, right? I can be a dad or an athlete. I either don't want to be a dad and continue to be an athlete, or I want to, you know what I mean? Or I just want to be dad, I'm gonna stop working out. You don't have to do that. You can have both of those.
Yo, this is my boy Christian Massot. Not only is he a great human, a black belt, this guy, his accolades are crazy, but he's also an amazing artist, amazing human. He's the one that does all my art on my body. And, you know, as most people know him as an artist, the guy has a whole backstory that not a lot of people know, and one of them being, you know, karate, jiu-jitsu, and him just being an absolute legend. He just took me through some of his moves. We're sweating a little bit.
We got a nice sweat going on.
Oh man, first time ever trying karate, jiu-jitsu. Got nicked a little bit. I don't know if I'm bleeding still. Guys, check this out. This is super fun.
What you're gonna really want to stretch is like, yeah, your hip flexors.
I wrestled in 6th grade 1 year, and that's it. But I was New England champion that year.
Oh yeah, are you serious?
Dude, yeah, I swear. My dad was a wrestler, so he taught me a bunch of stuff, but that's it. I've always wanted to kind of get into this.
Yeah.
I think just because of the bear crawl training now, like the mountain training, I'm afraid I'll get hurt.
Right.
And then I'll be like, I'll hurt a finger, and then you can't bear crawl, or you know, freaking strain something, and I'm out from mountain climbing, you know. So, but I still want to eventually get into it a lot, you know.
Not everything has to. These guys are just flowing, right? They're not trying to hurt each other. They're going through techniques of what am I gonna make out of what you give me. Both people want to win. Both people have started at an equal opportunity. 6 minutes of just pressure on you, just kind of put you in submission after submission. Always remember, like you have to breathe, right? If you stop breathing, you stop thinking. If you stop thinking, you die. So I'll teach you a couple like quick submissions, and I'll go from there. Does that sound cool? All right, awesome. Just put some pressure on me a little bit, right? Like pretend you're just trying to like pin me in wrestling and stuff, right? Yeah. So when I start transferring, what I'll do is immediately grab whatever control I can. Got it. So now if you try to put pressure on me, all right?
Oh, got it.
Good, man. Good. So we're gonna just clear this. We go like that. Next like that, right? What I'm trying to do the whole time is basically just take away whatever you post up with. I see you're posting here, take that away. Some guys, they try to rebuild. I want that back. Other guys adapt. You know what I mean? Push and pull, right? And pull. Anything in life, right? You can't always push. If you always push, people avoid you. It's a kind of give and take, and that's the foundation of all jiu-jitsu. Head down, so different. Never let that one push this one pull. Okay, got it. All right, so this is the hammer. Remember? Screw you, straight down.
Got it.
All right? Okay. My head. Dude. Awesome.
Oh, a million ways.
Oh, really? Yeah. Putting you in a area of discomfort until I set you up. So now you're thinking about.
Can you tickle the feet?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Pretty good.
Yo, that's good. Appreciate it.
Great job. I'm actually gonna change my belt.
Okay.
Since my brown belt is in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but my black belt is in karate and judo.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a little karate now.
Wow. Brown's one below black.
Brown is one below.
How much longer are you from the black for?
My teacher passed away. So my teacher was Mike Merkulik, right? I mean, you know, he's a great teacher, a great mentor. My teacher passed away, so I kind of have a real sentimental tie, you know, to get my black belt before anyone else. I was with him for 8 years. Basically, have a weird sentimental thing with. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you're okay with the brown.
This is through Vince Marchetti.
Okay.
And he was basically 10th on, 10th degree black belt. He was a badass dude. So what he did was, when UFC first started, I was about 14 years old, right? He was one of the first trainers for the original UFC. So he wanted to combine, he always had this vision of combining karate with judo, which is like your takedowns, and then finishing it on the mat with jiu-jitsu. Typical karate stance is a little bit different than a boxing stance. It's a little bit more forward, and that's because the drive is going to be forward in karate, right? Is if my knee and my heel are in line.
Got it.
So that's my proper depth. Now what I'm gonna do is shoulder width apart this way.
Got it.
Right there.
And that's,
yeah.
and this is a good stance.
That's giving me a good stance. Your front kick is gonna come up with your knee, and then it's gonna stand on your foot. Yes, dude, that was great. Knee up. Excellent, excellent.
Wow.
You're gonna like put that heel in.
Jesus.
So I'm coming up and like dropping. That'll kill someone.
All right, let's see the side. What's the key to the side?
So I might turn just a little bit. What I'm doing is my knee comes up, and whereas normally my knee will come up here, I'm pivoting on my heel, and it's pivoting here, blocking it out, you know? Excellent, excellent, excellent. So with a front kick, I'll probably kick here with my toe.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna give me like...
I flinch every time. I'm like, this is it. Broken rib, done.
Yeah. If I want to come up here, I'd probably kick you like with the heel. Yeah, because I'm not gonna try.
I'm dead.
Yeah, like, snap.
Couple more, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Keep your hands up. Beautiful. It's like the way our bodies, like from training work, is like your body develops in the way that you need it, right? Yeah. So like if you develop for a certain sport, you develop for that sport. You'll have overall athleticism, but your body will be tuned for your sport. You want to see some kick combos? Yeah, dude. So you do your front kick, your roundhouse, your side kick. We can do a couple combos, right? We just do a little flash, right? Where we come up, boom, kick this, right?
He's like,
if I give this guy 1 month, he'll be better than me. I know that. So your roundhouse, right? Now roundhouse is...
I'm gonna roundhouse your ass.
Get out of my face, or I'm gonna roundhouse your ass.
Kind of different. So your knee comes up, turn, and you just lay it in, right? Knee comes up. Beautiful. Excellent, excellent. Your knee comes up. That was good. You're never going to hit everyone with those combos. What we're going to do is,
drive them away.
Number one, drive them away. Number two, probably freak them out. You know?
Yeah.
You would never have to get in a fight if you got out of a car and did that to someone. You were like, good, bro.
If you got out of the car and started doing that, I wouldn't even go the rest of my day. I would just go back home.
Killed it, bro. You killed it, bro.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's day 1 for me, but it's day 10 million for this guy. Such an honor to be around someone with this much education and this much just like wisdom. I mean, the way he teaches, the way he just brought me through that, even though it was day 1 for me, was like very digestible. Hopefully it helped you guys learn some different things about the sport and the history of it. I appreciate it.
Love you, brother. You're a beast, man. What's that? What's that? You showing off?
We'll do 4 scoops because we got a couple freaking karate guys in here. Raw chocolate. You want to see the ingredients? Non-GMO Canadian yellow pea protein isolate, raw organic Peruvian cacao, organic cacao, monk fruit, and Himalayan salt, and vitamin B12. That's it. No gluten, soy, GMOs, refined sugar, artificial sweeteners, stevia, or gums. This is the cleanest protein on earth. It really got ranked the #1 whey protein in the world. A little honey.
That was perfect.
Honey is really good for you.
Yeah.
Thought you were giving
Perfect,
it to me.
man.
Oh, really?
No, just
Sorry.
kidding.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Bye, I love you.
Bye.
It's a clean
Perfect, man.
J-I-U-J-I-T-S-U. That's how you spell it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird, right?
You're not wearing any earplugs. Just got out of jiu-jitsu. What an amazing experience. Wow. If you haven't tried it, try it. Christian's a savage. But his day-to-day hustle is tattooing. He's gonna finish coloring some parts of my leg. Should we use green? Like a pine green, like this Cuts hoodie?
Yeah, it's a nice green, dude. I like that green.
I love it. Oh,
we're coloring.
I'm just kidding.
Can you imagine? Yo, I promise that's not the sound of the tattoo needle. If you put too much pressure on, then it makes him stressed out, right? It hurts more. You cause more trauma to the skin, you know? And it's just overall not good. So when you get a good coloring technique, what you want to do is you want to be able to put a lot of color in without a lot of trauma to the skin.
There's a secret on why he's able to get really bright colors on my skin, or on anyone's skin, to be honest. But we can't share it on here, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. Do tattoos hurt? It just depends what part of the body and how you're feeling. because last time he did the lines up here, they didn't hurt, but now the shading, it's a little sensitive. So where did jiu-jitsu start? Where did it come from?
Jiu-jitsu as we know it is like Japanese. And then what happened was basically just transferring over to Brazil. Brazil adapted it, made it their own style, you know? The Japanese jiu-jitsu was always a very more like self-defense based sport. But the Brazilian actually kind of turned it into more, you could actually be proactive with it and really kind of own people with it. Fear of like approval from people that really don't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's this weird thing that happens, right? Like with animals where one animal is the first one to like branch out and explore. One that braves its way out is the one that kind of sets the pace for like the stronger of the species, right? So like that's the one that evolves faster, right?
Yeah.
It gets better nutrients because it leaves like what it has. It gets better food source. It gets better water, you know? There's this pack mentality of like these people who are just so afraid to break out of what is safe.
They want approval.
Exactly.
They want to, oh, like this is what other people are doing.
Yeah.
I want to be able to, like that's how I should go about life.
Yeah.
You're literally limiting yourself and placing boundaries on your life.
There's this kind of weird incessant need to have mass approval. I can only do these things, I can only say these things, I can only be these things. The absolute best thing that you can get out of it is someone to click the like button. The amount that you miss out on is like insane. There's this weird pressure to be a professional at everything that you try for the first time. You
gotta put the work in.
Right. There's certain people that will go for the most amount of approval they can get for the least amount of thing that they do. Right? Like it didn't take much, but you get a lot of reward for it. You know, the thing is that, but then you compare that to someone that bear crawls a marathon or goes through and gets a black belt, and it's like, you know, it didn't happen overnight. What do you think, man?
Dude, sick. It's a great rose. Yo, where are you from?
So I am born and raised in Hudson County here.
Yeah.
My dad is from Cuba. He's first generation.
Sick.
You know, so like my dad was born there. I'm the first generation born here.
Why is health so important to like your everyday? You know, like we just got out of you know the whole jiu-jitsu stuff.
Dude, I grew up as a young kid, just not really kind of like I went through like everyone goes through like rough times, but I had like gotten bullied a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But my thing was always about perseverance, right? Even in those darkest times, I was always about perseverance. I was about like continuing, and I always had this philosophy of like, you know, just go until people see that they can't stop you. So my parents got me involved in martial arts at a young age. It was awesome, man, because what it did for me was it introduced like a kind of like goals. Like for me, it was a goal, right? Like when you get into karate or any kind of fitness, there's goals that you set for yourself, right? And basically you start climbing this ladder, and you know, you start at your white belt, your yellow belt, orange belt, and you go all the way up this ladder, and it's cool because that's the way I feel about life. You know what I mean? It's like when I started, you know, in tattooing, you start at you're like a white belt, and then like you start to like learn lessons, and it's almost like you're leveling up, and it's just, I feel like it's a lesson that can be applied to anything in life.
It's not just getting to that goal and then stopping. Okay, I'm here. It's like again.
Right,
let's get a new goal.
It's like the second that you get complacent or content on where you are, that's your peak.
This neuroscientist, neuro expert, you know, used this line, and it just sticks. If you don't use it, you lose it. By constantly putting your body, your brain, just everything through difficult scenarios, it helps you get out of those scenarios as well, right? You learn to like figure it out. If you stop putting yourself in difficult scenarios and it was just easy for 3 years, what the f are you learning?
I feel like that's awesome because it has a lot to do with like the process of things, right? Like you and I have talked about this a million times. Like when you fall in love with the process of a thing, the side effect is the goal. Like if you fall in love with fitness, the side effect is that you're healthier. You know what I mean? You get in shape, your muscles get bigger. When you actually fall in love with the process of working out, it's almost like the goals just come.
Did you notice that in being an artist? Like, did you just wake up and all of a sudden in like kindergarten, you were just way better than the other students? You know, how did it come to you?
I always had a love for art. I always had a love for drawing. I had a basic structure of it, but I was not naturally the best artist. It's just that I feel like I worked harder. So like there was people who were fantastic, amazing artists that like came and went because they were so good. It was so easy to them that they didn't pursue it. Like you said, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Now, to the stages and levels of being an artist and now owning your own tattoo shop, doing stuff with Disney, doing Ed Hardy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, there's levels. What were like some of the big pillars in your career from, I would say, kindergarten till like you open your own tattoo shop?
So like, started drawing in grade school. Like when I graduated 8th grade, I got like the artist award, you know what I mean?
No
like
way.
when I graduated. And it sounds like so funny, but like that's like a thing that like really means something to you because it's kind of like a reinforcement of like, hey, we see that you're working, like, and we see that you're trying and you're doing something, you know? And dude, can I just say like that to a kid means the world. Listen, there's a difference between pandering and being like, you're doing a great job. If the kid's not trying and you tell him he's doing a great job, it's one thing.
Yeah.
When a kid's really trying, even if they're not the best, man, but reinforcing them, dude, that meant the world to me.
You know that there's actually a stat out. You perform 30% better if you're just positively re-encouraged.
Wow,
reinforced.
that's awesome.
30% better.
I believe it.
If someone just says, dude, you're amazing, you're really good, like keep rocking. Just that simple.
Yeah.
30% on average.
But even if you've been doing something for 20 years, you know what I mean? It feels good when someone recognizes that, you know?
So 8th grade, that was a big pillar.
Yeah, it's a huge pillar.
After that?
Then, high school was all for me. I wound up somehow taking like half of my classes a day were art classes. You know what I mean? Which
really?
was awesome. Yeah, I had 4 periods of art a day. Getting to do art shows in high school, you know, participating in all these like art outings and stuff like that was really great for me in high school.
In Sinkley, you're doing karate.
Yeah, and as I'm doing that, you know, I had already been doing martial arts because I started that martial arts around, around 8th grade. Now I'm doing 2 things where one is reinforcing the other, right? My martial arts teacher was about excellence. Like he's like, you have to, whatever you do, you have to try this hard. It's not just martial arts. Like if you're doing art, you got to just grind at it and like level up in that too. So that work ethic, man, I attribute everything to my dad. Teacher's name was Vince Marchetti. You know what I mean? He passed away recently, but just an amazing human. You know, definitely attribute a lot of success to him. My parents were great, really kind of reinforced
that.
Everything, and that was awesome.
After high school, you didn't open up the shop immediately, right?
No, I actually, believe it or not, I actually did go to college. Was
it beneficial or?
Listen, man, I got to get education. Let's just say college is not for everybody.
Right.
I graduated. I have 2 college degrees, but I'm a big advocate for people who are, especially people like us. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be an entrepreneur, I really encourage apprenticeship over college. But I feel like
I'm a dropout, so you're good, man.
All right, cool. So this is my philosophy, man. Like, you know, I always knew I wanted to go into business. You know what I mean? I wanted to be my own person. I wanted to write movies. That's what I went to college for. I got discouraged for that. They wanted me to be a teacher. And what wound up happening was I went from being like a 17-year-old kid who was like just psyched about the world to being like 22-year-old college graduate with like incredible debt and a certificate and a career I didn't want to do. I wish I had done a mentorship with a professional in the field that I wanted to get involved in, art field. I wish that there was like a mentorship I could have done instead of going to college, but I mean, it's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? I got an education, but.
Do you consider yourself introverted? And I only ask that because karate / jiu-jitsu, it's you versus you, right? Obviously you're going against someone, but it's not a team sport. It's not basketball, it's not football, it's not baseball. Artist, it's really you and you. But you're such like a charismatic human.
I love people, man.
I'm like, dude, you always around. Like, why do you think that you have chosen just to do these one-on-one, activities as a career?
I think it's personal challenge, man. I really love people, man. I love people.
You love them.
I love them, man.
Yeah.
It makes my like day to see someone doing well. The reason why I like these sports and these things that are kind of like about me, because I'm challenging myself. It's what I'm doing to kind of like, kind of grow on my own path, and it's like everyone's on own thing. This is just my path, man. My path is like, I want to see what I can do with my art. I want to see what I can do with my, you know, with my fitness, and I kind of like that journey. You know?
How important you think is it going against yourself rather than going against others, and really kind of loving yourself, you know, before you can really love others, and, you know, just taking care of your own personal self before you just give back, or before you start to be, you know, Superman for everyone. How important do you think it is, man?
I think that it's so important to kind of like lock down your own personal, physical, and mental health first. And I think that like you need to attain your happiness first. I do believe like I'll give back everything I can once I'm stabilized, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that it's a beautiful thing. I see a lot of people who, they want to give back, but it's like, hey man, you gotta get yourself right too. I think that what happens is sometimes like people want to fix the world before they reflect inside and say, hey, I gotta fix me.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and
that's
I
a great
feel
way
like,
to put it, by the way.
it's like doing chores, and you put off all the chores that you do, all the little chores that you can before you get to the chores that suck. Because sometimes looking in that mirror about what you got to do about yourself is
like,
hard.
shit.
Man. It's hard, and it's weird to face. You know what I mean? Because we were taught. You compare yourself to everybody, right? And like, you're like, you know, especially like you have family, oh, your cousin did this, or you have a friend and be like, oh, this guy just got this, or this person just did. It's like, this is my journey. I mean, it's like this, I'm doing my thing, you know what I mean? And once you focus on yourself, man, you can kind of love people. You can get out there and
start loving life. You can
love everything.
Yeah,
absolutely,
everything becomes much more clear.
Absolutely.
What do you think is next for you? You know.
So we got a couple really great things coming out in the future. But for now, what I'm doing is I'm really focused on my fine art painting. We just did an awesome 3-week stint in Disney World, man. It was awesome. I got to paint live in Epcot.
3 weeks in Disney World.
3 weeks painting live in Epcot, which was fantastic. You're painting in front of like, you know, 100 people that gather around you, like, and you're talking with the kids and trying to get the kids involved in art, and even the older people. It's like, man, try this. Like, if you like the way it looks, if it's relaxing to you, go for it. You know what I mean? Just pick up some canvas and some paint and go, you know, have a paint night with your family, man.
I love that.
Your partner, you know?
For those that are listening, watching, we have something really special. We're adding Christian to the ProMix team in a very, very special way. You know, when we started first working on the Flow State shirt, I hit you up like, dude, we need like an epic shirt. What was like your vision behind, you know, putting the guy there and the car and just like everything?
The shades.
Yeah, the shades.
Yeah. So when you and I started talking about Flow State, you know, what I thought about was like when I get into my flow state, you know, when I'm creating something, and like that kind of like that mindset that you get in before, like when it's like, hey man, it's time to like go, you know? And, you know, you and I had talked about this vision of like this, like, old school like car, you know what I mean, like, you know, like the old school like Lambo and just like having this like, you know, this almost like this almost like Knight Rider-esque like vision of like when you like would just get in and go for a drive, right, to clear your head. So we started kind of like collaborating on that, and then I said, dude, we gotta have like the shades, like the 80s shades, and like that kind of like real like synth type like atmosphere, you know what I mean?
I love it.
You know, it's like super chill.
This new project, we'll get into it now, this vintage line that we'll call it for now, because I don't want to give it away. What are you thinking, man? There's
this beauty to taking something that's existed and like remixing it and making it new and cool again. You kind of have this identity and like of this place that you are and how people see you. But like that, you can be this and that. You know what I mean? Like I always say, like and is greater than or. Right? Like when you look at the two words, I'll always take and over or. Right? When you submit to or, then you limit yourself. Right? I can be this or that. Right? I can be a dad or an athlete. So I either don't want to be a dad and continue to be an athlete, or I want to, you know what I mean? Or I just want to be dad, I'm going to stop working out. You don't have to do that. You can have both of those things. So and is what it's at. The vintage thing, it's like this thing has an identity, but it can also be this new, beautiful thing. Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
That. I appreciate you sitting down and kind of deep diving into your mind.
Yeah, 100%.
And how you create and how you've gotten where, I think, well, I know everyone has their different playbook. Everyone has a different journey. Everyone does stuff different. you know, you are different than another, you know, guy that owns a tattoo shop and maybe has done. Everyone's just different on how they get places. I just think it's really interesting. It's your story, man.
We all have a story.
I love it.
Know?
I love it. And tell it. Be raw with it. Let's draw some stuff.
Let's go.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
Awesome, man.
Yo, thank you guys for watching.